The biggest green flag that you're a good sewist is that you press while you sew. If you do that, big up yourself. I want to ask you something. Which iron you use? I've been using the Singer Steamcraft iron since 2023. And it's so drama free that I just got another one in pink. I have never had a pink iron before, but becoming a girl mom has made me find this new love for pink, and it's like I just want everything in a pink what can be in a pink. They actually have this in a mint color, black, white, and pink. I love pretty things. I'm a Libra, okay? They say that when you start loving pink again as a woman, that's if you hated it at one point, it's because you're healing that little girl inside of you. And I feel like that's accurate because I grew up having blue and green as my favorite colors, and that's not really something you'd expect from a girl. But I just kind of wanted to be different, or I just was different, and I still am different. There is something very special that colors do to you, and the color pink actually causes you to feel calm and safe and feminine and just sultry, and that's the kind of life I'm living. Easy me. Singer irons are the most unproblematic irons I have ever used, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Singer ambassador whose code will get you 10% off if you use it at checkout on singer.com, but because it's actually true. This iron has never burnt my fabric, never burnt my iron board, or ruined my fabric with lime scale. You know when that white thing starts to build up inside of the iron, the same thing that builds up on your shower curtain or your bathroom walls or the inside of your kettle or a pot that you use tap water in, that starts to happen inside the iron sometimes. And that's something that just, it pisses me off, because when I am trying to iron, all of that is coming through the little holes on the bottom of the iron, and then it just white up your clothes, and that's not a good feeling. But this iron has never done that to me before, and I give thanks for that. Those are all major offenses that other irons are definitely guilty of. This iron has an anti-calcium filter built into it, which means that the calcium won't be building up in there. Instead of it building up, it's filtered, but they do recommend that you use the self-cleaning system that's on it every now and then, and the manual that comes inside of the box tells you how to do that. And that's what I love about Singer too. Like, they have such beautiful packaging. The box, I could keep a box for a Singer product just to have it as art and just have it laying around my house, and it wouldn't look trashy because it's printed with these gorgeous things that are helping you to know more about Singer itself or the product that's inside the box. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an ambassador. I'm saying that because I genuinely feel this way. I am big on aesthetics, especially as a Libra, and I'm not just gonna say something just to inflate anybody's head. I'm always going to mean what I say, and it's gonna come from my own heart. So believe me when I tell you that these irons right here are top tier. I've had this one since 2023, and look at the state of it. It's still shiny. Look at the state of it. This has actually fallen a few times before, and I'm not proud of that. But it keeps on going. It keeps on doing what I need it to do despite falling. The few times that it has fallen have never impacted it greatly enough. I've had experiences with other iron brands where the iron drop, it falls to the ground, and instead of working perfectly fine after that, it starts to glitch out a bit, like it starts to crash out. But this iron, never. This iron is loyal to me, okay? It's very loyal. It also has a large water tank, which means that it can hold a lot of water, which means that you're not going to be going to get new water every single time to fill it up, because the water that you do have in there lasts pretty long because it has a large tank. You see what I'm saying? One of the most annoying things to me is when I am filling an iron and the water spills everywhere. And it's like, these are little things that you don't notice until you start to experience something far better. So you see the shape of this, the shape, the depth, and the position of the thing right here that you use to fill the water tank. It just makes it hard to spill water. And if you spill the water, it's honestly your own fault. You are the one to blame, because how? It comes with this cup right here. And this cup makes it possible to get the water in there. Like, you could put it so close to make sure that it doesn't spill. So I got some water and I'm going to fill it without even being over a table. And I want to see how easy it's going to be to get the water inside the iron. Okay. It's going in. You see how easy that is? To be fair, I do have a very steady hand, but look at how easy it is. No, seriously, just look at how easy it is to get the water directly in the iron. Listen, tenderism, or is it tenderism? That's just amazing to me. I can't begin to count the amount of times that I've been using other irons and the water spill when I put it inside of the iron. I don't recall spilling the water here much unless it's a scenario where I am not paying attention. Okay, and on that note, when you're sewing, try to pay attention as much as possible. Try to feel into the experience instead of just rushing through it. Okay, that will make your sewing experience so much better. I love the fact that this iron pushes steam, like aggressive steam, I talk about, like steam vertically, not just when it's down like this and pressing, I'm talking about when it's up like this, vertical steam. This iron is amazing at that, which makes it great for steaming curtains that you've already hung. If you're impatient and you can't bother steam your curtains or press your curtains before you put them up, or you want them to fall differently, you just steam it with this. You use this button right here, and this button sprays water, but this button steams. This vertical steaming thing can also come in handy when you are draping on a dress form. When I'm draping on a dress form, sometimes I want to set in like a pleat or a gather or something like that, and so I would use steam to get that crunchy and nice and just solid up, you see me, like a glue. Maybe not so extra still, but that comes in very handy. This iron can easily be an everyday type of iron, not just the iron that you use when you are sewing fabric or making something, but also an iron that can benefit you if you just like having a good iron to press your clothes. I can't even remember how many times this feature has saved me. The fact that this iron turns off after 30 minutes, I love that. If I leave it on the fabric, it's like the iron has a sensor to know that we don't want to burn that fabric here, so we'll just automatically shut off. I like that because other irons have betrayed me by burning my clothes before. I just turn around real quick to take up something and then it just overheats and just burn up my clothes. This now, if it realizes that it's been left for an extended period of time, it actually turns off on its own. And I just love that. That has saved me so many times. I've actually had times where I completely forget that I left the iron on and I'm there in the kitchen and cook something, or I'm getting ready for bed, only to come and find that it's been plugged in this entire time, but instead of staying on, it just turns off. So I come and I touch the plate and it's actually lukewarm. And that's really beneficial because I bet that that actually helps with saving energy. By the way, if you're like me, you might be wondering how it is that you turn this iron on or off. You're gonna notice that under here, you can see names of a bunch of different fabrics. So if you're pressing silk fabric, you would just turn the dial to silk and it will heat up to the temperature that silk fabric needs. If you're pressing wool, you turn it to that. If you're pressing cotton, you turn it to that. If you're pressing linen, you turn it to that. And then if you want to turn it off, you just turn it all the way around to this point, and that's going to go on the minimum amount of heat. Max, min, which is basically how you turn it off. The tip of this iron is really important because nothing annoys me more than not being able to press in those tight corners and those little spaces, like in between buttons or in the corner of a pocket or in the corner of a hem or something like that, or just pressing out a seam, not being able to get in there without pressing out the entire rest of the garment is something that used to annoy me about other irons. And the fact that this one has such a nice pointy tip, and if you look at it, you will notice that there's a space up here that's just flat, and that's perfect for me. That's perfect for me because I can even think about times where I am pressing like a sleeve that I'm stitching and I just want to press the seam open, or maybe I want to just get like a really tiny detail, like something on a cuff or a placket. I've been hearing about the Singer brand ever since I was a child. I saw dressmakers using Singer sewing machines and tailors using Singer sewing machines, and it was just a name that was always in the back of my mind. So to be an ambassador for Singer just feels so amazing to me. I would talk about Singer products even if I was not an ambassador because I genuinely love Singer products. Yo, I cannot begin to tell you how important a long cord is. You know why it's important? Because I'm a content creator. And when I am sewing, and I also have lights plugged in, and I have things charging, and I have like 4 different sewing machines plugged in because they all serve a different function. Sometimes my iron gets left out because chances are I set up all of those things before I even get to that point where I plug in my iron. In those instances, I tend to plug my iron into the closest socket. And sometimes that's all the way over there, and I'm all the way over here, or maybe right there. And the fact that this cord is so long makes that possible for me. If I was using one of those short cord irons, it would be rough. I would have to always itch up under one socket. I'd have to always be close to a socket, and that just restricts my movement right there. So furthermore, if I'm doing something over here, but then I realize that I want to press something over by my sewing machine, I can easily just take this up, run over there, and that's that on that with no restrictions. This cord is 10 feet long. You see how much cord this is? 10 feet. 10 feet, you know. And this is what the end looks like, by the way. Some irons and some appliances have a third cord right here, or a third prong, I should say. And I think those are more heavy duty ones. So if you're wondering about what the plug looks like, this is it. So do I recommend this iron? 100%. But as of December 2025, it's $79 on Singer.com. But because you use my code, you got 10% off, right? You genius. So whether you're trying to level up your sewing game, keep your curtains crisp, or just press your everyday clothes, the Singer Steamcraft iron is definitely an amazing choice. If you're one of those people who like to just die-heartedly support a brand and you have a Singer sewing machine and you have like other Singer appliances, why wouldn't you just have a Singer iron too? But if you like this video, you might also like this one. I'll see you there.